random early detection based on the existing policy maps also. Like, let's take an example. In my network, based on our previous labs, we have already configured queuing mechanisms, and we have configured some specific traffic to be matched, and based on that we can configure bandwidth reservations. So if you remember, in the previous section we did that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do a separate configuration. So what we'll do is, we'll try to mix the same configuration, and we'll try to verify here. Like in this example, what I'm doing is, I want, if the precedence value of 0 and 1, that traffic should get a guaranteed bandwidth of 20% of the overall, that is overall 75% maximum reservable bandwidth. And if the marking value is 2 and 3, then it should get 25%. And if the precedence marking value is 4, it should get 30%. So we know how to configure this. So the first step, we need to create a class maps, which is going to classify the traffic. So I'm going to create for class map here. Let's say on one of these routers. I'll do it on the router here. So I'm going to create a class map where I'm going to say precedence value is 1 or 0, 1. And then I'm going to match the precedence value 0 and 1. So anything with 0 and 1, that's the first class map. And then the second class map, anything with 2 and 3. So match IP precedence, I'm going to say 2, 2 and 3. And anything matching with 4, which is going to match my IP precedence value of 4. So let's say we already have some traffic coming from maybe from the router 1 or router 2 with these marking values. So assume that we are receiving the traffic with these marking values. Already there is a marking done somewhere on the router, and it's sending with the marking values. Now this router, like in my example, this is router 3, is going to match those marking values, and it's going to configure some guaranteed bandwidth for those traffics. At the same time, I want to do a random detect, a random early detection for them, for that particular traffic. So the first step will classify, and the next step what we'll do is, we are going to configure the policy map, right? That's what we do. So we'll go ahead and create one policy map. Let's say CCI, something like this name. And the first, I'll try to match my class, the first class. I think precedence value 1, 0, 1. That's the first class. So I'm going to match my traffic with this precedence value 0 and 1. And then as per my requirement, I'm supposed to configure the bandwidth percent is 20. Not only that, we are also adding random detection. So I'm going to say random detect, enable the random detect. And once you enable, then I'm going to say random detect. The precedence, if the precedence value is 0, then I'm saying the minimum threshold value is 20. And let's say the maximum threshold value is something here. And then the out of 10, one packet should be dropped out of 10, means 1 by 10. And if it is precedence value of 1, then I can change this number, or you can use the same number. It's up to you. Now, if you try to see here in this example, if the traffic matches this precedence value of 1, 0, and 1, means any traffic coming with this marking will be automatically enabling. We are enabling the random detect for this traffic, and also we are enabling the WRED for the traffic. So similar way, I can go ahead and do the same thing for the other traffics as well. So for the other options here, I'm going to refer to the class, and precedence value is 2, 3, and the bandwidth percent as per my requirement. Let's say I'm giving 25, and then I'm going to enable the random detect. And if the precedence value is 2, then I'm saying that, let's say 24. The maximum threshold value is 40, and the MPD is 10. And similar way for 3, it is, let's say 26. Now likewise, I can configure for the same Same for the precedence value of 4. I'm going to define the bandwidth percent, and then random detect we have to enable, and then I'm saying that the precedence value 4, the minimum threshold value is 28 and the maximum threshold value is 40 and the MPD is 10. So if we verify this configuration, if I say show run class map, so we have created a class maps here, these 3 class maps, and then we have used these class maps inside my policy map, where we have enabled the random early detection with weights. And additionally, it's a part of the queuing also. We also have bandwidth reservations, which might be the part of the configurations. And then we need to go ahead and apply these things. So we can simply go ahead and apply on the interface, outbound interface. Now to verify, we can use show run show policy map interface S1 by 0. Now here you'll find these options a little bit different here once we enable the randomly detection. Like here you can see there is a service policy on the outbound interface of S1 by 0, and it is going to this is the class map name. And right now we did not generate any traffic because we are not receiving any traffic right now. But here you can see these values. So the random drop, how many random drops has been done, tail drops, and the minimum threshold values, what we have configured. And this is the maximum threshold value, this one. And then this is your MPD value. Now, similar way, you can configure the weighted random early detection for DSCP marking as well. So here there's one more example you can just go ahead and configure and verify. Like here, what I'm doing is I'm creating 3 different marking options, but this time it will be based on the DSCP, let's say. And if the marking values comes with this DSCP values, so I'm going to tell match that particular traffic. So it's going to match that particular traffic. And then once it matches these marking values, it's not only going to do bandwidth reservations. Apart from that, we are also going to tell that the traffic should be randomly dropped in case if there is any congestion. Means we are going to tell the minimum threshold value. So as long as the packets received with this marking is within this limit, within the less than 20, I'll say no drop, no need to drop anything because it's okay. But once it starts exceeding like 21, 22, up to 30, it will do random drop. And that random drop will be done based on the MPD value 5, which means for every 1 out of 5 packets will be dropped, means 20%. Like out of 5 packets, randomly it will drop 1 packet. That's what it will do for this traffic. So similar way, you can configure the same thing for the other marking options as well. So it's up to you to decide which type of random detect you want to do, whether you want to do based on the DSCP or based on the IP precedence. You can go ahead and configure. So whenever you see any configuration with random detect, you have to understand that weighted randomly detection was enabled for that particular traffic inside the policy map.